This precedent that the Trump administration is pursuing means that any journalist or any editor anywhere in the world who receives and publishes truthful information about the United States could be extradited and sought for prosecution in the United States. Trump administration that calls the press the enemy of the people. An indictment where Julian faces 18 counts under the Espionage Act, the first time in the history of the United States the Espionage Act has been used in this way, for receiving and publishing classified information.
Even the Obama administration concluded correctly that there was no way to prosecute or indict Assange and WikiLeaks for these materials, because doing so would create a very serious and intolerable threat to press freedom.
At the same time that the US government is chasing journalists all over the world, they claim they have extraterritorial reach. They have decided that all foreign journalists, which include many of you here, have no protection under the First Amendment in the United States. So that goes to show the gravity of this case. This is not about Julian Assange, it's about press freedom.
There's no question that 2010 material is material that should have been protected by the First Amendment, and is. And if the current court fairly judges the intent and effect of the First Amendment, this case would be dropped.
This is an assault on journalism. But you know, more than that, it's an assault on citizenship, because it can happen to anybody right across the world. It is saying that international law doesn't apply.
We have documented concerns with regard to Mr. Assange's right to a fair trial. We have serious concerns about open justice, and we retain our concerns about the substance of the case, which we do believe to be politically motivated.
This is a total violation of a bilateral treaty between the US and the United Kingdom, which basically states that you cannot extradite someone for political offences.
Julian Assange has been suffering terrible deprivation of liberty. He's been suffering conditions amounting to torture. His ordeal goes on, and all because he published the truth.
And the United States, by their own admission, told us that no one was ever harmed by WikiLeaks. So what's going on here? This is a disgusting violation of Julian Assange's human rights. It's a disgusting violation of journalistic freedoms and the freedom of press. And it's an absolute mockery of any kind of semblance of justice in this country.
Even Boris Johnson, who has been for most of his life a journalist, should understand, if you agree to what the Americans are asking you to do, I mean, today it affects Julian Assange, who's exposed war crimes. Tomorrow it could affect other journalists.
It would be a criminal act on the part of the British government to accede to the U.S. demand for extradition.
Well, if the extradition is successful, already that will have an intimidating effect on journalists around the world and be a direct attack on the First Amendment of the United States.
If Julian Assange is extradited, it will mean darkness for us all.
It's a fight for Julian's life, a fight for press freedom, and a fight for the truth.
Will the Prime Minister agree with the parliamentary report that's going to the Council of Europe that this extradition should be opposed and the rights of journalists and whistleblowers upheld for the good of all of us?
I'm not going to comment on any individual case, but it is obvious that the rights of journalists and whistleblowers should be upheld, and this government will clearly continue to do that.
What is your message today to Boris Johnson, to the government?
Save Julian's life.
Stay strong, Julian. We fight for you. We won't let them do it to you. We won't let them do this to you. Stay strong. Remember, we're here for you. Remember that.